The White House is blaming Russian criminals for the cyber attack that shut down a major meat supplier. And now the White House says all options are on the table for a response. It was JBS, the meat packer, that said nearly all its plants should be up and running by the end of today. As for the ransomware attack, it affected 9 of its US beef plants as well as sites in Australia. The White House says the Kremlin bears some responsibility.
President Biden certainly thinks that President Putin and the Russian government has a role to play in stopping and preventing these attacks. Hence, it will be a topic of discussion when they meet in 2 weeks.
To pay or not to pay, that is the question. Gangsters and thieves have always looked for an easy way to strike it rich by hitting companies. The only thing that's changed are their methods. In the 19th century America, they held up trains and banks. Stand and deliver. Wells Fargo stagecoaches were frequent targets for highway bandits. By the early 21st century, pirates off the coast of Somalia held massive ships to ransom, and some shipping companies paid up. Now criminals don't even have to leave their homes, weaponizing the internet to steal information and hold IT systems hostage. The FBI warns against paying ransoms. After all, there's no guarantee hackers will return your data. But companies have done it. Columbia Pipeline being the most recent example of those who've paid. Lior Div, CEO of Cybereason, is with me from Boston via Skype. We always turn to you, sir, when we need to understand it. Now, we don't know whether JBS paid, and we don't know the nature of it. I know you're aware of the behind it. Same people as Colonial, do you think?
No, in this case, JBS, this is yet another attack that coming to us from Russia. The group behind this attack, this is a group called REvil in some cases. This is the largest ransomware cartel that exists right now in the world. When we investigated, we believe that if it's not a state-sponsored, at least this is a state-ignore attack that coming from Russia.
We'll leave the state side, if you like, to the White House. I'm curious about this business of paying ransoms. Do you believe that REvil, they're in this for the money, like the other lot were?
Yes, absolutely. Ransomware right now, this is a business model. They operate like a regular companies. In some cases, they have hotline, they have support line, and if you have problem, you can call them and they can help you. They're in for the money, and they're aiming to generate as much as revenue as possible for themselves. So as long as people are gonna pay, we believe that they're gonna keep operating in order to generate this massive amount of revenue that they're generating every year.
How do they do it, though? These are major companies, particularly in the case of Colonial, that should have but didn't have sophisticated systems that would prevent this sort of thing. From what you're saying, it's not easy, but it's not that difficult either.
Yes, so REvil developed a technology to basically bypass technology. Specifically right now, the market is flooded with ancient technology that coming from Symantec and McAfee. That's still trying to fight the fight from 20 years ago. Right now, there is a solution in order to deal with this. Cybereason is a company, and companies like us has a solution that's called EDR that can deal with it.
Okay. Assuming then one is hit by ransomware and your company is paralyzed, and the likes of DarkSide or REvil are not asking for 100 million. They're asking for $2 or $3 million or $5 million, which is almost the rounding error in your annual accounts. And you know, it is DarkSide, and they are gentlemen in a sense of they prove that if you pay, they will get yourself back up and running. You would pay if you were a CEO.
Make no mistake, we're dealing with criminals that they are in the borderline of being a terrorist. They're in for the money, but I'm pretty sure that we have no guarantees that they will give your information back to you or not going to hack you again. We did kind of a deep research on this topic, and what we discovered that if you paid once, the probability that they come after you again, this is like 80% of the times.
Wow. That's something you and I need to talk about a bit more in the future. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.